We didn't always go.
Oh, bud.
He even looks like it.
Say it.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. We've all heard it 1,000 times, or at least I know I have. But sometimes seeing is believing. After spending almost 2 weeks on the big island of Hawaii this summer, my family and I became a part of Hawaii's recycling program, and we were persuaded to bring that challenge back home with us. Though it was born from necessity on the islands, recycling makes sense. The landfills were in shortage, the beauty of the island was being compromised, and with the unreal amounts of trash, Hawaii stepped up. We too faced the same challenges here on the mainland. Hawaii took the challenge, they created incentives, and in turn created jobs from trash. Isn't it about time the mainland took a serious look at Hawaii's success and strives to save our own land? When you're just a rock in the middle of the ocean, land is limited. Add to that the amount of tourism the islands bring in every year, and the trash adds up, and so does the challenge. According to downtoearth.org, around 800 million beverage containers are sold in Hawaii each year. That's a lot of plastic, aluminum, and glass going into landfills, and it seems no one wants a landfill. For example, the only landfill on Kauai was set to reach capacity in 2005 and be shut down, but the deadline has already been extended twice. And recently, an 85-foot height extension has been proposed, which would add another 5 years to its life. Another option to get rid of the trash would be to ship it out. But recently, however, an attempt to ship from Honolulu County to Oregon cost $99 per ton and is not a very cost-effective or long-term solution. Hawaii is not only challenged by landfill issues, but by energy issues as well. HawaiiEnergy.com reports that 46.3 million barrels of petroleum are imported for Hawaii's total energy use over the past year. And of that, around a fourth of those were burned by Hawaiian utilities to make electricity. Whereas the continental U.S. charges 11 to 12 cents per kilowatt hour, Hawaii charges anywhere between 32 and 44 cents a kilowatt hour, ranking them number one in total U.S. energy costs. We noticed, though, that most of Hawaii doesn't use air conditioning, and due to the warm climate, the heating costs won't be the same as they are here in Kentucky. The high energy costs are incurred mostly through their use of electrical appliances and lights. We're a nation of consumers, and our trash reflects that. One person is responsible for around 4.4 pounds of trash every day, and much of that's able to be reduced before it goes off to the landfill. Can't we take the responsibility for our own waste? We're leaving another debt to the generations following us, a broken land. The great news, though, is that we can change that now, one person at a time, one state at a time. After looking at the challenge, Hawaii took the initiative to create incentives to make recycling work. Starting in 2005, Hawaii imposed a 5-cent deposit and a 1-cent fee on all beverage containers known as the High Five program. As time went on, more and more people returned their water bottles for their deposit. Before High Five went into effect, the diversion rate in Hawaii was 41%. This meant that 59% of all solid waste went to landfill, shown here in blue. This meant that only 41% of all solid waste was going into recycling. Since the High Five program was established, more than 4.2 billion beverage containers have been recycled, which has helped increase the overall diversion rate to 72%, as seen in red. This meant that only 28% of all solid waste was going into landfills. This information was obtained from Hawaii Business Magazine, who also said that they believe that much of the landfill material still going into landfills can still be reduced down. During our stay, we discovered another way that businesses are cutting down on plastic waste. Walmarts, Targets, and even local grocery stores are charging 5 cents for every plastic bag. This was implemented in January 2013 with a goal in that January 2014 all plastic bags would be prohibited. It takes a single plastic bag 10 to 20 years to fully decompose, and many of which still degrade into unsafe chemicals. Bags can entangle and endanger sea life. plastic bags also contribute to litter, which is really not consistent with Hawaii's desire to reduce landfill materials. These facts and numbers should not be consistent in our thinking. National Geographic Kids puts these facts before us very simply. The U.S. alone adds 29 billion water bottles of plastic pollution every year. If you were to go to the tap after drinking your water bottle and fill it up about 1/4 of the way with crude oil, this would be the amount of fossil fuel it takes to produce, transport, and cool this water bottle for your consumption. Bottled water, convenient? Maybe. Costly? Yes. 5 out of every 6 water bottles go into landfills, leaving only about 1 going into recycling. This is a very costly cycle, especially for a nation who has some of the cleanest and safest drinking water available to them. Once the challenge was accepted and the programs were implemented, Hawaii may have realized its greatest surprise. Recycling creates jobs. Because of this surge in recycling, more recycling centers were built. The Big Island alone has more than 18 redemption centers where you can take your recyclables and your rubbish. Here we call it garbage. There are stations within the centers where you can get your deposit back on your plastics and your glass. This system works well and it has created jobs. There are also unique ways to repurpose recyclable materials that have also created jobs. Glass makes glassfault, a mixture of glass and asphalt. Empty milk jugs are used to make picnic tables and park benches. And cities are even exploring the use of plastic lumber as a viable building material. Hawaii quickly learned that through their trash, they empowered themselves with power. Waste energy allowed Hawaii to generate electricity by incinerating their waste. There are 3 waste energy plants on the Hawaiian Islands, the biggest of which is H-Power, the Honolulu program of waste energy recovery. It's the cornerstone of Honolulu's waste management system, and it produces around 7% of all of Oahu's power. 2,000 tons of waste are converted every day, which is used to power more than 40,000 homes. Today, 11 states have deposits on beverage containers. With U.S. consumption as it is, this number is extremely low. Locally, in 2011, 2 companies are trying to make going green easier in Paducah with curbside pickup. CWI Trash Service is offering free curbside pickup to their already existing customers in Reedland, Lone Oak, and Mayfield. And Dream Green is another one that is offering curbside pickup to the Cracken County and Lone Oak area for only $12 a month. There are also a few aerial recycle bins located in places that I know of where you can take your plastics and your cardboard for recycling. I would encourage you to see what options are available to you for recycling and to develop a plan of action for your recycling. Clearly, recycling benefits the environment, the economy, our energy sources, and even everyone on the planet. Hawaii stepped up to the challenge, they created incentives, and created jobs, teaching us a better way to live. I was persuaded to think differently after seeing Hawaii's success. Will you let it persuade you to reduce, reuse, and recycle?
Okay, thank you. Do it, get him afterwards. All right. They were clapping, I swear. Oops.
Good job.